So John White here with the Luke 10 community, and I'm sitting in Sojourner's Coffee Shop, which some of us in Denver have spent some time in, with Tim Morris.
Good coffee.
There you go.
Good people.
And Tim and I, well, Tim, how long have you and I been doing CO2?
We were just counting, somewhere between 4 and 5 years, probably.
Yeah. And in the course of an average week, maybe four or five
times a week.
Yeah. Take the weekends off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Tim has come up with two kind of wrinkles, kind of neat additions to add-ons. I don't know what you in computer terms.
Modules.
Yeah. Modules that I think are really powerful, and I think it illustrates the idea that we encourage people in Luke 10 to be creative, to start with a basic CO2 pattern and be sensitive to how the Lord may want to add on to that. So talk about those two things. One is the restating, and then the one you shared with me today, which I think will become a staple of our CO2. So talk about restating first.
Okay. Yeah, restating is the practice of taking what John has checked in over. So if he's sad, tender, excited, I will restate that in my own words. And typically I'll just share the exact emotion he shared, but I'll restate in my own language about why he's feeling tender or sad or scared. Sometimes I'll throw a few other emotions that I'm seeing or perceiving that he's feeling that comes out while he's sharing, to just sort of say that basically restatement says I see you and I hear you. And it does very well. And for me, because my attention's always going every which way, it helps me focus my listening. So while I'm listening to him, I'm thinking, how am I going to restate this to John? And I want to listen well.
As opposed to thinking about what you're going to say.
Exactly.
You're focusing on what I'm saying, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So it's in counseling, this is called active listening, is learning how to listen well. And to me, it's a basic practice on how to listen to people. So in the end, you become a better counselor, if you will, but you also learn to practice the presence of people well. You learn how to be present with people. And then, so what we do at the end of that is I'll share what I am restating. I'll say, I'm hearing you say you're sad, and then I'll say, here's why, this is what I heard you say about being sad. And then John will tell me, you have heard me or not. And if I haven't heard him, he'll correct maybe where I may not have heard. But it's very powerful. I've done it with him, I've done it in a group. And it really helps people tune into each other's hearts very quickly.
Yeah.
So.
And so you said counseling, not counseling so much in the sense of giving advice, but in what sense? What is it about that that's powerful? The kind of counsel where your presence, your ears and your heart bring healing to someone. So it's sort of like a good counselor who you'd pay to see. They're very good at actively listening to you, and they're good at asking questions. So typically good questions don't come until you've heard them well. So sometimes John and I will ask each other questions that come out of us listening to each other. But if you don't really listen well, you can't ask good questions because that comes out of hearing well. Absolutely. And when I do that with you, what have you experienced as the benefit of that, of me restating? What happens inside of you when I do that?
Yeah. Sometimes when you restate to me, it puts a new angle on what I'm feeling or where I'm at that I may not be really aware of until you bring that. You use a term like I might say I'm angry or I'm really sad, and you may say you sound deeply grieved, and it helps me realize, yeah, this isn't just sad, it's actually, and that helps me become more aware of where I'm at. So it not only helps me become more aware I'm at, it helps me engage God in that place more accurately. Lord, I'm really hurting you. And so it can be really powerful. So
when I'm restating, it's not like I'm telling you what you feel, because I'm doing it in the form more of a question. Sounds like you're saying this, is that right?
Yeah.
So it's very much you being the one who gets to kind of determine exactly what it is that you're saying and feeling.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's a little flex room in there. That I'll hear John's voice come through about how he restates me. Will be different than, say, someone else would restate me, but it's still accurate. It's just a different angle where I'm at.
So this morning, you came up with another new idea about CO2, which I really like. So very simple. Talk about that.
So after we check in and then we restate each other and we both agree that we've heard each other, you can ask the question, what do you need for the day? So you may need to go spend time at a park. You may need to have some inspiration to be creative. Today I needed what I use the word unpressured time to create, because I'm a web designer for part of what I do. But that phrase for me is very powerful, and it activates a part of my design and my heart that I really needed for today. So it could be anything, but the idea is you're tapping into where the Lord is really taking you that day, beyond just checking in. It's, well, what do I need? What's my heart need? What's the Lord? So it taps you into your heart in a very visceral, powerful way.
It could be something I can help with, or something totally you do on your own, but it kind of makes it more concrete about next steps. I shared with you something that I need today, which had to do with you praying with me about something.
Yep.
So that would be another example, though. I think it's a brilliant idea. I love your creativity.
I think you probably gave me that idea.
Great stuff. So, again, the idea of CO2, which is being practiced, we know, by people, hundreds at least, maybe even thousands of people by now around the world. Sort of a simple but easily reproducible idea of church being, first of all, two people, learning how to do church there, and then you can do larger expressions of church. And that doing church this way can be hugely transformational. I mean, it has been for me. Just checking in with you on a daily basis and you listening and asking those questions. God does something through that that's really powerful.
Yeah, you know, in my experience, the idea of the Church of Two idea is that we're learning how to be people. These aren't miraculously crazy ideas. We're learning to listen to each other, restate, and ask questions that tune each other into their heart. Like, what do you need, or what do you want? These are very simple questions, but they're very profound and complex. So I love this, because we're just being people.
Yeah.
No trick.
Yep.
So
usually we do this on the phone.
yeah.
And usually when we're done, I say to Tim, or he says to me, I love you. And that's pretty cool for two men to be able to say that to each other, and in a really healthy kind of sense of the word. And what we're doing today in Sojourners is more what we call guerrilla videoing. We want to encourage other people in Luke 10 to capture stories like this. So we're at this coffee shop. I'm going to give everybody a quick view of the coffee shop here. So here's Sojourners. So this is our context for church today. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. It was fun.
I love you.
Love you too.